What's up guys, welcome back. It's Knight here, your Tech and Games Crusader, and we have another unboxing, this time for another action camera. This one is the Akaso V50 Pro Special Edition, or SE, and it is the Leave No Trace Center for Outdoor Ethics. It's an Ultra HD native 4K camera. It is splash proof, does have a water resistant case on it. You can see there it shows how to take the case off and put it on. Specifications: it has a touchscreen, image stabilization, no 60 frames per second capture at all with image stabilization though, waterproof to 131 feet or roughly 40 meters. And then let's go down the list on the back here. We have video is capable of 4K 60, 1080p 120, 720p 240, as well each of these iteratives at 30 frames, 60 on 1080p 120, and 60 and 30, and 30 on 1080p. Photos will do 20 megapixel, 16 megapixel, 14 megapixel, 10 megapixel, or 8 megapixel options. As an integrated wireless network, there is an app you can use to be able to have this set up somewhere and monitor as surveillance. Comes with 3 batteries. It has a mini USB input and output, has wind noise reduction. The display is 2 inches IPS quality. There's a remote control included along with mounts and accessories, and it does take a micro SDHC, and remember, HC is high capacity, which is up to 128 gigabytes. Anything over HC qualifies as XC, which is a extreme capacity, or higher than that capacity. And yeah, adjustable view angles. This is kind of like a side grade to the V50 Elite, which doesn't have the ability for using an external microphone. However, this does, which is what this is. So we'll go ahead and open this first. And where it is Akaso, they use a proprietary connection for their microphone. But to me, the mic just looks like a mini USB port. It is sleeved, as you can see. So if you're used to like headphone mics that have sleeved cables, you will hear some cough noise against your attire when wearing this microphone. If this was a flat cable or rubber coated, you wouldn't hear any noise traveling to the mic. But that's just, I guess, the way they did it. So this is a lav style mic. The only thing is, what I just said about hearing noise from the cable depends on how well sleeved this is, or shielded this is, as well as some other things. Sorry guys, I'm really out of it. This last few days has kind of destroyed me. Have my trusty, not rusty, not even dusty Radio Shack micro driver. Let's go ahead and get into this case here, or into this packaging. So we can see here it does have a seal on both sides. This has been sitting here since last week, and I hate whenever I get behind, but as you can see, I've got quite a few things over there that require getting tested and looked at and stuff. Quite a few things for Oculus Quest 2 that I'm going to try and do just in a couple of videos as like each one, and then do a comparison of them. So, yeah. Got circle tape on the back. So the biggest thing about this mic that I'm excited to test out is supposedly it can be used in a PC cam mode, which is kind of like a makeshift webcam. If that's the case, then this Nexago 940 will no longer be needed and can be retired to another location, just like all the other webcams I have laying around everywhere. So we have the mount on top. That the camera's in. Okay, that's kind of cool. We got a case for the camera. It's just a very small soft shell case. Got a place for cable and the camera. So that's kind of cool. We didn't get that with the Cool Owl. There's a battery. There's another battery. And there's another battery. Caution. Alright, so on the battery, model is B0281153500001. It is a 3.8 volt, 1100 milliamp per hour, 4.18 watt hours. Limited charge voltage is 4.35 volts. So technically it's under 5 volts, so it can be charged on a 5 volt charger. Here we have our battery charge deck. We can charge 2 batteries at a time. And then have one in the device and switch them out so they're always one ready to go. I don't like that these batteries are compressible. Like the tops, they are not very solid. You can hear that crinkling sound. You can see the panels here. Because of the way they did these pull tabs, it makes the top of the battery vulnerable to crushing easier. Alright, here we have micro or mini USB to USB-A. Here's a remote. Here's a wrench. We have a mount. Another mount. A bike or fitness use handlebar mount. Another part of a mount. You got a strap. Here we have a different kind of a mount. You put the camera in here and you could mount it on like a helmet or something. got some slide pad mounts. Got a harness, it looks like. Wonder what kind of harness this is. It's a harness with a mount, but I wonder what kind of harness it is. So, here's the screw part of the mount. Okay. That looks like a wrist mount harness. It's pretty cool. Definitely didn't get that with the cool mount. But this camera has a the Kumau was $100 plus tax, and this one is $130 plus tax. So a little bit of a delta there in the pricing for what you get. Got a cleaning cloth, some Velcro pads, zip ties, which I can't stand, the other parts of mounts, more straps. Here is a replacement back panel for the waterproof case. Quick start guide. You have Akaso Go Club. And quick start guide. Let's go ahead and take a look. Not a whole lot of documentation for such a loaded package. Alright, so Akaso Go is the app. You can get it on iOS and Android. Here's how to put the phone in, or not phone, the camera in the waterproof case, how to charge the batteries, where the batteries go, where the micro SD card goes, power button, switch between mode of camera and video, or photo and video. User manual is online at the QR code or at the address here, which is akasotech.com/user manual/V50 ProSC.pdf. And any questions, comments? Looks like we've also got German, Spanish, French, Italian, Chinese, I believe. Yep. Alright, so let's get to the start of the show. Figure out how to get this monstrosity off of here. Ah, that's how. Alright. So it's cool they give you a platform mount that it's on top of. Let's take that out. So it's cool that you also have this rubber pad here that locks it in on any platform so that this part can't be squeezed. Alright, without further ado, we'll leave this right here on top. So our buttons, pass through, we do have a micro HDMI and a mini USB. Let's go ahead and open the case here. So there's a very nice coating on this. where it has a suede feel to it. Getting started, peel off the films on the camera screen, camera lens of the camera, and the waterproof case. Make sure battery is full of power for the first use. Format your micro SD card, not included, first in the camera before using. So micro SD. We have our mini USB and our micro HDMI. Don't have adjustment because it is an action cam. This is fine. There should already be one battery in here. Nope, there's not. Because I can't count today, apparently. There's 3 batteries. I have 2 already in this dock. Alright, pins are from the lens side towards the center. So we got our pins lined up. I really don't like that every single one of these batteries crinkle. Getting started. It's in 4K 30. So alright, menu. We got manual video scene mode. Water, riding, winter, diving, and night. Let's go to manual. Bottom we have Wi-Fi, RF, speaker, mic, and beep. So here's that cable for charging. Let's go ahead. Here's our microphone, so we can take a look and see what exactly. So now the mic right here will work. Alright, so modes we have on here is video, photo, playback, and setup. Let's go to setup. In setup, we have video, photo, effect, and general. Let's go to general. Okay, so from here we have system, factory reset, system info, card info. Let's go back. No. Format card, language, Wi-Fi setting, USB. We can do right here under USB is where you go to PC camera. So let's go ahead and try that out right now. We have our cable here. Let me turn on my TV so I can be able to see. Bear with me one moment, guys. Okay, so I am going from here to camera app. Let's go ahead and get this undone. And I wonder what actual resolution it can be able to handle. through the PC mode for webcam. So it looks like you can't have both your mic as well as your PC camera plugged in at the same time. So I'm on PC camera, diving mode, angle. We got super wide, wide, and medium, and narrow. So we'll go with wide. We got distortion calibration. This only works if you're in 30 frames per second mode. Control. So here we can see our volume for the mic, our volume for the speaker, and our brightness. Yeah, right there it shows you as you tap on it. Alright, so let's go back here. Let's go to video. I don't think it's going to let me do anything until I plug in a... The other thing that this does not have that the Kumau does, the Kumau has a front-facing LED screen as well. So that way if you need a viewfinder, you don't have to guess. And that is a handy feature for having if you just want to be able to take like video vlogging and things like that. But we're going to plug this in over here on my desk. It is setting up V50 Pro SE. It's set up and ready to go. Alright, so you go to this icon, it brings it up. Sorry, it's got me in the dark right now, guys. There we go. It's early, so I'm just trying to be able to do this, and look, you can see me. I'm talking, and I'm on my phone at the same time. Currently using the Red Magic 5S for doing the recording because I keep on having overheating issues right now with my OnePlus 9 Pro. And I've not heard anything back on being able to get it fixed. But, yeah. This harness is how I record. I have it over my neck. And then I can adjust it. It's made for, like, reading in bed. But I use it for recording. Because I'm frugal and I have to get creative. So, yeah. I'm impressed with the quality of the camera. I mean, this is low light. Even if I drop down this, you can still see me talking. But if I raise it up to where I have my lights on me, you know, you can see me better. And it looks like it's picking up a lot more. Let's see on here. See, it says connecting. So you can't choose or change any modes when it's in PC camera mode. Got it. Understood. So it looks like it's only rendering at 30 right now. Let's see what options we have. So we got 1080p and 640 by 480. We got 480p and 1080p 30. So for 30 frames per second webcam, this is actually pretty good quality. I would prefer having full access to all of the features on it, but this distortion control is kind of wacky. It makes me look very weird, but it's not bad. The quality is pretty good. This is the main reason I wanted to test this camera, is to see how well it did as a PC camera. And I gotta say, for, you know, the size of it and everything, it's cheaper than a Brio. The quality is almost exactly the same as a Logitech Brio. Other than that, you know, it just, there are definitely some features on here. Just to see, let's open up broadcast and see if it can do anything in there. Alright, so we're in broadcast. Let's go under camera. From here, you can see same resolutions, but it doesn't look contorted or anything. The image isn't all weirded out. You zoom just a little bit more, Yeah, that's not bad. I mean, you can see me, I'm talking. It's not as crisp as if it was 60 frames per second, but interpolation with some other things on software side, I can be able to adjust to where it looks a lot better in that aspect. It's just definitely not designed as a first function of being a webcam. So in video, we can't change anything there. Actually, we've already been through that. Let's see what's in effect. Okay, it's not one. There it goes. AE meter, filtering, white balance, EVO or EV ISO. So that's kind of cool. Ah, here we go. Video settings. All right. Image stabilization. Let's go 4K 60. Now you can see that you can't do a lot of things because you're in 4K 60. But I wonder if that will now change anything on the option for PC camera. Let's change the angle. Let's go to medium. Diving mode, power frequency. Ah, okay, maybe that's why it was not doing so great. It was using 50 hertz. Alright, so Wi-Fi is where you can use app for it. Okay, so let's go ahead. We'll plug it back in. As you can see, we have the light on there. Give me just a bit, guys. Something popped up on my screen. Alright, now let's go back to our camera app. Just wanted to see if this makes any difference now by changing anything in there. No, still just 1080p on photos anyways. Alright, so 1080p 30. That's all we got. But there is a possibility that with that... Alright, so let's go here, go to Pro SE. We have this going now. Let's open up Streamlabs and see. If we can be able to manipulate the frame rate of the camera through interpolation to 60 frames per second. This is what I've done with a couple of my webcams that are 2K, and it seems to work pretty well whenever I do that on those. Alright, so go here. Let's go for video capture device. We'll just make a new one. There's the V50 Pro SE. You can see it's on up there. It is 1080p set there. Let's go color space 709. Color range is full. We'll enable buffering. Capture audio only. No, we don't care about audio. Alright, so let's go up here and configure video, see what options we got. Looks like everything is no options at all. Configure crossbar. So let's go to custom here. And let's just slot in 60. Video format, any. Highest FPS. Alright, let's see if it looks any better. I mean, it's highest FPS, it runs about 40 to 45 frames per second. And otherwise, it just seems like that's the limit of this thing. It is only 20 megapixels, so don't expect it to be able to do the same things as what having a DSLR that can actually output, you know, massive amounts, 4K 60, or even what your phone could do in capturing video and stuff. Like this phone captures 4K 60. It's just massive files because of the compression style. It uses H.265 instead of X.265. So it can't shrink down to a smaller size without quality degradation the same way. But guys, this is definitely a mess right now of parts and pieces and everything. Let me know what you think of the Akaso V50 Pro Special Edition. Leave a comment below, any questions. I'm going to do some testing with the app and see what the extensions as far as capabilities of it is, and anything in response I'll post in the comments. Guys, this is Ibernite, your Tech and Games Crusader. If you feel like you enjoyed the content, consider subscribing to the channel, give a thumbs up or like, and yeah, just generally, thanks for your viewership. It's been a rough few weeks. Just went through a lot with Memorial Day yesterday, and I am former service, so it brings back a lot of memories of people that I went in with that didn't make it back. So I consider myself blessed in that aspect. Because of what happened to me, it just it's still a hard pill to swallow. A lot of different things and factors just have never been the same for me. If you like the video, give a thumbs up. Sorry, I think I already said that. My brain is shot right now. But yeah, I'm trying to catch up on all of this stuff as fast as possible without infringing on the quality of content that I like to produce, which is not great, but at least it's something. So I'm trying, guys. That's the main thing, is I'm trying. I will go ahead and give you a real quick, comparison between the Nexigo and the V50 Pro SE in the camera app. So here we have the V50 Pro SE. I think I unplugged it. Let's go ahead and plug it back in. Alright, got that done. We have the V50 Pro SE. Here's the Nexigo. As you can see, it's pulling a lot more brightness, and this is also set, I believe, at 1080p 60. So having that little bit extra, it does help. You can tell it's a lot more narrow, but that could be this as well. So in here we have V50 Pro SE. Let's go to the Nexigo in 940p. Yeah. We'll bump this up to, we can do 1440p by 1080, or we can bump it down to 1080p at 60. And I'm more prone to doing a higher frame rate that's stable than I am doing, other things that reduce quality. This does have a lot of signal noise on it, though, for the Nexigo in comparison to the action camera. As I'll set this one to the same settings as the 1080p 30. Sorry, I feel like this should have already been done, and I almost ended the video. My brain is just out of it right now. So now they're both at 1080p 30. Here's the Nexigo. You can see it's a lot darker. Or rather, here's the V50 Pro. You can see a lot less signal noise in it. Skin tones are more even. Whereas you just have a lot of overblown brightness. If I drop this down, it's a lot better on the low light, on me anyways, for the Nexigo. And then comparison, here's the V50 in the same low light. So, which is better, guys? Let's do the optometrist thing. 1 or 2? Two or 3? And then 3 or 4. So you can see that whenever I went to 60 frames per second, it zoomed in a lot. And notice on the Nexigo, this is on video noise removal on strong. So whenever I change back to the V50 Pro SE, video noise on strong and weak. Barely any difference at all. So I'm going to go over here. Give me a bit, guys. Turn on some light. Alright, so this is with the normal lights on in the room. Here's the V50 Pro SE. And this is on strong for the video noise. Let's go to weak and see if it makes any changes now. There's a slight difference. It's like a coloration blending difference. So going back to the Nexigo, you see a lot less color overall in this than there is on the V50 Pro. And that goes down to where most action cameras have something called WDR, wide dynamic range. It's not an increase in colors, it's just a width of the amount of light that it can accept because of the higher FOV. But you can see the glare on my OLED now, guys. So if I bring this one back over to 60, you can see it jumps way closer because of the way that the webcam renders 60. I think there's something wrong with it personally because it shouldn't do that. But I look a lot smoother. And I definitely have, that's on weak. Let's go to strong for video noise removal. And it loses even more color whenever you take it strong. But yeah, guys, let me know your thoughts. As I said before, this is more expensive even than the Nexigo. The Nexigo is a $120, well, $100 webcam. It does 2K at 30 and 1080p 60, which is the main reason I got it for testing. I'm looking for a good 1080p 60, but with higher capture for photos or stills. And I mean, for capturing stills, you're not going to get much better than the Akaso. However, for my taste, if the Kulao did PC camera support out of the box, I would definitely go with it for the amount of everything included with it. Already having a mic, because this mic was $10 extra separately, not included. It's nice that this has a case, and it has this case, and it has an extra panel for that case. But most people, it's nice to have extra mounts and things, but most people would rather purchase what they need and make sure it works rather than have a bunch of extra stuff that they're just looking at going, what am I ever going to use this for? It's nice that this has 3 batteries, whereas the Kumao had 2. But the batteries in the Kumao were 1350 milliamps, and these are only 1100. So it's to each their own on that, guys. I do like features of both of these, but if it were up to me, I would rather have one that can do 4K 60 without losing a lot of color depth. Like, everything in this is not washed out, but you can see that there's definitely this curvature, which is because it's pulling the image with the distortion of the FOV action camera lens, rather than being able to software or integrated the distortion correction. But yeah, guys, Cyber Knight, your Tech and Games Crusader. Hope you guys have a good night, good day. Take care. Thanks for watching. We'll see you later.